Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing well. We are live on YouTube and on TikTok today for the Sagittarius Full Moon. Happy Sagittarius Full Moon. I hope you are all doing well. It has been a moon. I don't know about anyone else, but it's just been a moon with everything going on with the changes, the shifts, all the things. I also just posted a video on TikTok about it. If you're not following me on TikTok, go check it out, _𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐭. But today in this video, I just want to hang out with you guys. I want to pull out some cards with you and really tune into what to expect for this Sagittarius full moon that's happening today, May 22nd, 2024, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after. Now, I did post a video that I recorded already. It's on YouTube. So for TikTok, you guys can go check that out also here on YouTube. I also have a meditation for you. So if you want to go check that out, it's really great. It's really guiding you through. It's a very deep visualization and ceremony healing that I'm really excited that a lot of beautiful light beings were able to journey and to support you with the Sagittarius full moon. And I have a few very exciting videos coming up that I can't wait to share with you guys. So let's get into it. Let me know, replay and also live, where you guys are tuning into. Yes, I'm live on TikTok for those who's asking while we're chatting here. Hello, South Africa in the house. And let me know if everyone else, like, where are you tuning in? I hope you can hear me as well on YouTube. Please let me know that you can hear me. It's showing that you can. Yeah, let's get into this video. Let's get some sage while I catch you guys up. So just make sure you share if your heart feels called to share, like, subscribe, put notification bells. It helps others to also work with the moon and know what to expect for this moon cycle as well. And if there's any questions you have, hold them into the comments while I do the reading. Even though this is a general reading, people tend to still get whatever they need in this space. So I just trust. Hello, Croatia. It will go to who it's meant to go to. Super excited. So as people jump in, I want to just share a couple of things happening in community with you guys. The first thing is tonight, we're actually joining together via Zoom for a full moon breath work. It is a shamanic breath work that you will be tuning in this 3 hours. We're going to go over plants, a plant ritual to do for the full moon that I'm really excited to share with you guys. That's deeper than what I've shared in the energy update. I'm also going to open and close space. We're going to have an integration circle together after the ceremony, and you're going to go deep into a beautiful somatic breath work. So it's different than a meditation. It's a healing. It's potent. You're connecting, you're in unionship with your soul and going through the journey of how Grandmother Moon is teaching you during this beautiful full moon and working with nature. So I've actually offered it for my client energetic exchange because I want more of you to be able to attend. And you can still register if you haven't. The link is in the bio in my link tree, and it's $22. Okay, I'm gonna keep it that way. I said I was gonna put it to 33. I'm gonna keep it at 22 because I know from the past a lot of you are like, oh my gosh, okay, I didn't know if I had to work off or whatnot. So you can sign up to an hour before. Okay, so all of that will be down below. The other thing I want to share with you guys is plant medicine ceremonies and retreats. There's a lot that's going on right now, and I literally cannot wait to journey with you guys. The first thing is the Divine Dharma retreat that's happening next month for a week. It is for light workers and those who are feeling called to step into their gifts and their space of listening to the drum of their heart with nature and stepping into your divinity through shadow work and healing. We're going to be learning how to smudge. We're going to be learning how to heal yourself and hopefully to share that with your community and loved ones. And you'll be attuned in Reiki as well. And we're also going to have plant medicine ceremonies with Kambo and other plants as well. So that is happening in Canada from June 16th to the 24th. And then we have a beautiful, amazing retreat with Colleen Ariel. She has been a curandera that has been with for years. And I still keep going back to her. And I now have I've had the opportunity to support and collaborate with her. So she is going to be doing a beautiful Costa Rica retreat for us with a 2-day ceremony with Madre, with Aya. And that's going to be happening from November 20th to the 23rd. So if you're maybe someone who hasn't, maybe you sat with my Aya before, or you're a healer and you're wanting to be helped, a light worker, space holder, and you're wanting to be held, you want to be in prayer, you're in this space of intention and ready to do your work, to really step into being that walking ceremony, this is a really great opportunity for you. Registration closes on June 1st. So just email. You can register in the retreats application. And then we also have longer dieta and Aya retreats with Cambo breathwork that's happening in Costa Rica, February 1st to the 11th, 2025, and in Peru in the jungle with the Shipibo, from the 21st to the 30th of April. So all of that is down below for you to register. And I also want to share with you guys, there's one other opportunity that's not in any of those places. It's a completely different space that I'll be sharing with you soon. I'm really, really excited for that. All other offerings you can go share. I'm doing sliding scale for only this month. And if you go to my community post on YouTube, you'll see it. Okay, now all these things are shared. And I think we are now jumping into the live. Okay. Let's pull some cards. So what I like to ask you guys is to really breathe into the space and to connect with yourself. So whatever way that is, just breathing, connecting with yourself, connecting with your being. And this reading is really going to be sharing a little bit more about whatever comes through. Okay, so watch the other one, but a lot of the information will be new downloads that I'm sharing with you guys. So the first thing is, some people are feeling really tired around this time. And the reason why there is exhaustion or tiredness is because we've been having a lot of cosmic activity. I'm sure you guys have heard of meteorites and all the things, whether they're on the news or whatnot. They've been happening even when they're not on the news. You know, you have to be kind of conscious of what you watch, right? But as far as the channel, I'm only going to go from channel perspective here. There's been more and more ships of cosmic aliens and beings coming in to the space. And this is nothing new. They've been doing this for years and generations. But the reason why they're coming right now is because there's a lot coming in the next four years. And with that, this is bringing solar flares. And I talked about this maybe 2 months ago, that we had a lot of solar flares. It's basically just like flares essentially coming to the earth and how they affect your physical body. So you might feel exhausted. You might feel your sleep is off. You're waking up at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. You may feel that you're drained a little bit. That's all because of the solar flares at this time. So really, this is teaching us about managing energy as it crosses over with one of the most manifesting full moons that we'll have for 2024. And another thing that you may also experience is you may have a lot of deja vu. You may feel outbursts of emotions that come out of nowhere, even though you're feeling really great. No, they are the solar flares that are happening, right? We're getting, basically what's happening is these solar flares are creating heightened light activations in our light body. And when that happens, it heightens our codes of our light body. So you have your chakra system, that's your physical body. And I teach this with my students. But then there's also your light body, which can go up to 6 meters away from the body, right? That's your energy template. And your light body actually is where we do a lot of the deep healing, especially plant medicines, because whatever that you're absorbing, whether you're going to the grocery store or you're walking in a school or at work, or you're just going around, this energy in your light body is what absorbs things, right? So it absorbs it and goes into the chakra of the physical body. So if you do this healing here, it just automatically absorbs here. So that's why I tell people that our environments are more important than ever right now, as far as the Sagittarius full moon for manifesting, right? So if you're not thriving in your environment, this is why a lot of people are starting to rethink their situations or feeling this pull from, I like to call the unseen council, to other places. One thing I'm sharing with you guys, I'm going through a big shift with myself. I don't know if anyone resonates with this, where, you know, I'm calling in community. I'm calling in this space of wanting support and wanting to be with you guys, but also with a group of amazing light workers working together to really do our deep work and helping, because right now the world is in the space of suffering, which is why so many ships are dropping in the night, in the cosmos. And yeah, we're just having a lot of cosmic activity. You know, what's happening on this earth plane is also happening in other dimensions in different ways, right? And this is why it's important for us to come together in unity and divinity to do this deep work. So Sagittarius full moon is bringing us this revelation of exploring what we know and letting go of what we know into something of trusting the unknown, right? And the word trust, I've been saying probably every second moon now, if you've been following. And the reason why this word, as much as sometimes we get tired of the simplicity of it, but why do we get tired of the simplicity of it? Because us humans want it to be complicated sometimes. And what trust is being able to not question the new directions, specifically for the Sagittarius full moon that you are stepping into, to not question where you're stepping into, what you're going into, what changes are happening, why are you being called to shift your job or to change your energy or to change your habits. You know, one of the biggest things I've noticed, and I would love to hear in the comments for you guys, what are the biggest changes you've noticed that happened in your life? For me, it's been food. I've noticed that there's certain foods I can't eat anymore, that I used to love. And it's because, like, I understand that one, these foods were connected to an emotional attachment. And one of the biggest things is being able to trust while letting go of certain attachments that the Sagittarius full moon is calling us to do, even though we don't have an explanation as to why we have to let these things go. Right. And I'm not saying like a huge shift, but it's really an upgrade. This Sagittarius full moon is an upgrade ascension for us to step into the exploration with our spirit and soul. So a lot of us are doing a lot of dream work right now during this full moon, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after. What that looks like is your soul, when you sleep, is kind of outside of its body, your spirit's outside of its body, but you'll be kind of going into different dimensions, maybe revisiting certain times of your life because of the solar flares and the full moon, to do some deep dream work. So sleep is very encouraged during this time. Sleep, prioritizing your sleep as much as possible. Even when you wake up at 2 in the morning or 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock or whatever in the morning, because you're going through ascension, that's normal. Your rhythms of your sleep is going to shift because your body is like, we're going through so much energy upgrades. Instead of looking up, what does it mean when I wake up at this? Because I am notorious for that before. The reason why your guides and your ancestors are telling you to sit here is because they're waking you up for a reason, for you to listen to something. There's a message, right? And specifically for this full moon, these messages are very important. So instead, asking your guides at that time, what are they wanting? Why did they wake you up? What is the reason for them waking you up, right? Is there something that you need to relate to or see? If you're waking up at 2, it's something around your blood flow, your circulation, your heart, right? If you're waking up at 3, it's your angels. They're coming in. They're stepping into between 3 and 4. They're coming in. They're asking you. They're asking you for to listen, and maybe specific messages. Archangels come in that space. If you're waking up 4 to 5, you're going through a lot of changes. Your body is probably overwhelmed. Your stress levels are pretty high. This is an opportunity for you to listen. And if you're waking up from 5 to 6, this is the most beautiful time to meditate all the way until before 7. So this is a time that you can meditate in your bed and just allow yourself to bring yourself to a theta wave, which is that sleep wave, and just bring solitude. So you can integrate the 4 o'clock, which is the integration. Now you notice how each one is very different. Oh, and by the way, if you wake up from 12 to before 2, this is where there's a lot of spirit activity, right? So depending on what activity you're sensing in your intuition, this is an opportunity for you to clean and cleanse, right? So are you cleansing your space? I was just talking about this with a client. I had one of you with a healing session, and the thing I was telling them is they were sharing so much and focusing so much on, I want to manifest abundance. I want to manifest abundance. And I was saying, that's great, but energy is everything. And right now what it's telling you is, if this abundance is here, which it is, the block that you're getting is you feel this fear of receiving it. There's this block of like feeling worthy to receive it. And this is coming from an ancestral and ancient time. We went all the way to 12,000 BC. So I'm just sharing with you guys that we are templates. We have so many stories in us, not even ones from this lifetime. But when we revisit things from this lifetime, um, we then allow ourselves to get clarity of how it resonates from this time. And the reason why I'm telling you this for the Sagittarius full moon for 3 days before the dam and 3 days after is for a reason. It's because with these flares that are happening in the cosmos that are affecting us, the Sagittarius full moon is asking us, okay, we need to step into understanding these ancient memories, to revisit them. And you may be doing them in dreams, you may be doing them in your wake state. You may walk in a place and notice that it feels familiar. Listen to that. So yeah, dream is really big right now. For those of you who might say, I don't dream, that is okay, because you're still dreaming. You might not remember it. I used to be one of those people that always like catch, what did I dream? Right? How many of you do that? When you wake up and you forget a dream, you get mad at yourself. Be honest, put a little hand emoji, hands up, even replay. If you are like that, instead of focusing on that, maybe just trust that it's in your subconscious and it may come up when it needs to, or the work has been done, right? It's not about always remembering it. Okay. Another thing with solar flares is clearing out the third eye. So an ascension, and I'm going through a deep ascension right now. I've been sharing this with you guys. Some of you are like, oh my gosh, oregano oil, all the things. I'm like, yeah. But the ascension is just like, it's clearing insight, it's deprogramming. And with that is bringing a lot of us to see with our knowing. That's what trust is about for the Sagittarius full moon. Sagittarius full moon is all about seeing with knowing, right? Not seeing with logic. One of my favorite quotes is, we see with our hearts, we see with our intuition, we see with our feeling. This is something that we know as a child, but sometimes we get conditioned from schools, from extracurricular activities, that's not enough, that they need to have a physical, tangible result to why this is true, right? But this is where your conditioning of this full moon and Sagittarius is bringing up to us, and it's showing us, okay, where has our trust been maybe questioned? Where was your little girl, little boy, little being questioned, right? When you did see something, when you did connect with things, when you started to talk to trees, when you started to have an invisible friend, when you started to connect with animals, that nature, that magic, that essence is what creates us to know that we are much more connected and deepens our strength in our prayer outside of religion. Just prayer is really like intention. It's putting energy towards something specifically. Where has our prayer of trust been lost? Where has our prayer of trust been forgotten? And Sagittarius full moon is saying, explore through the dreams timeline, explore through the ascension of your biggest rising within yourself right now as you manifest during the Sagittarius full moon, and tune into letting go of, whatever has prevented you from trusting, like that little version of you, right? I'm saying this for a reason. I haven't even pulled the cards and we're already sharing so much. So let me know what's resonating with you guys. And just solar flares. They're just really at it, aren't they? But they're great because even though we're getting these what I like to call energetic hangovers, where we're feeling this energy that's like, ugh, but it's also like you're going to grow and expand. It's doing something for a reason, right? It's ascending you with these heightened coded light flares. Okay, let's see what the ancestors have to share with the Sagittarius full moon. I've been loving this deck for the Sagittarius full moon because we're really working with Father Sky. Father Skies, cosmos, guides, guardians, all of those stepping into trusting and getting the messages and listening to the messages. So bringing yourself into your hearts as I share this message with you guys. Okay. And again, like I shared with you, we're going to be meeting tonight for the Sagittarius full moon breath work at 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. So you can go and register down below. So I really love these 3 cards. So you have take charge of authority, right? And what this card came up, I believe, in another reading I did on TikTok. I'm going to just share the cards and I'll explain to you guys. You also have the High Priest. This card is saying intend and create. Shield Maiden, plans and focus. Okay. So if you've been feeling right now that you've been a little bit lost to the drum of your own beat, to the beat of your own drum, that saying, this is really sharing that this Sagittarius full moon is about taking action in a way that is weaving your gifts and enhancements that are happening right now, right? To put intention, be more intentional, right? Everything you do should be intentional. Everything you do. The way you do everything is how you do anything. This is the biggest message I can give you, not only for the Sagittarius full moon, for every single moon. The way that you set up your altar, the way that you dress up, the way that you get up in the morning, the way that you eat your food, the way that you make your food, the way that you drink water, everything you do is what is the fuel of your manifestation, right? So if you're someone who's constantly rushing in life, constantly on the go, you're going to rush your manifestation. If you're someone that constantly maybe talks to yourself with lower vibrational words or maybe more negativity or like less compassion, then that's how you're going to speak to your manifestation and what you're creating. So what Spirit's just saying here is you are coding your manifestation through the actions and the intentions of which you decide to do. Now, this is also saying take plans and take action, right? So this card is also, it's a feminine card. It's saying that through what you're scripting, what you're writing, what you're saying, all the things, now it's time to make a plan, right? Now it's time to plan out the things. And the thing that I ask you to do right now is to ask yourself, in my life, who is around me that I can really connect to and support me in this creation? If your answer is, oh, or I should I ask that person? Do they even have space for that? The question is yes, ask. The second thing is I don't have anyone around. Well, the next thing I have to share with you is one, maybe you do, and you haven't given an opportunity for that person to support you in your creations. The second thing is that we create our relations based on how open we are and what our energy is. And every relationship you have is a reflection of a part of you, right? We are all connected. We are all reflections and mirrors of each other. So if you created these relations, and like I said, moving into what we're going into is beyond just the moon, is for us to collaborate, for us to do this not alone. And if we have these conditions of why we had to do it alone or lack of trust, what is that relations with trusting with people? It could be trusting your mom, it could be trusting your dad, it could be trusting your partner, it could be trusting a friend. Where has that person affected you? You also have changing of authority. So I want to go deep into this card. Take charge with your authority and charge into the space. Sorry. Don't be afraid to be more assertive in your life, right? You know, if I were sitting here and I was like, hey guys, so I'm going to talk to you about the Sagittarius full moon, you wouldn't listen. You'd just be like, okay, I don't know if she's really. But if I'm speaking here and I'm talking to you and we have eye contact and there's an energy, right? There's an energy that is bringing you to sit here and to connect and for us to do ceremony together. So the way, again, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And Sagittarius full moon is asking you to shift your habits a little bit, to look at your habits, to look at the way you do the simple things, the mundane things, because that is how you do the big things too. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we have to remember. We can go and do the meditations and the ceremonies and all the things, and that's great. But how are you taking that into your life? And Sagittarius full moon is saying to explore and be creative and to take all of the healing. Thank you so much, Kariba. All of the things into your life. Super important. So let me know if you guys have what's coming up for you. Replay as well through the chat. Let's look into what else we need to know from the ancestors for this Sagittarius full moon. I was just talking about this and we got this card. I love that. Okay. Awesome. So one of the things I'm noticing with these cards before I show it with you guys is there's a lot of masculine energy. So the Sagittarius full moon is asking us to work on healing our masculine with the masculine father, brothers, masculine beings that are in our life, because they are the reason why maybe we can't take action into receiving what we are calling in. So this is a great full moon to work on shadow work with the masculine. If that is something that is an opportunity for you and you feel that resonates, um, if you're in a relationship, how do you allow your partner to help you? Are you having pre-expectations, or is there a way that you kind of control maybe without knowing their actions? Um, how is it that you can, when I look into it's like the masculine, I just close my eyes, I see this like masculine asking for help, and you're kind of just sitting here being like, well, I'm asking you to do this. And they're like, okay, but just tell me what you want, right? Get comfortable expressing your needs, because that's what can allow you to know when someone is providing help for you. So that had to be shared for some reason. Mirror Guardian, take time and reflect. Okay. So this is a great time to look at your reflection during the Sagittarius full moon and how you create. This is not a time, like, again, I share this a lot in my other past videos. Like, we are co creating with the energies. We are not giving our power away from it. We are not just waiting for the sign to come in and the angel number to come in. We're not in the waiting room with our life. Life is still lifing, life is still happening, right? So, the mirror guardian is teaching you, what are the mirrors that are being brought to you right now? What are the reflections in your relations? You know, how am I being called to? I'm asking someone to do something, but then am I actually doing it too? Right? It is calling us out on double standard. And, if you're asking this of spirit, divine universe to help you with your manifestations or to call in something, are you also walking that path in your own way? The answer is yes, then woo, we're doing it. Sagittarius full moon, we're doing it. It's a reminder, it's a check-in on that. And if the answer is I don't know or no, then maybe that's something we have to look at. I want to read this card because I love this beautiful card. For those of you who just jumped in, we're just doing a reading on how the Sagittarius full moon is affecting us deeper. It's a big one. So we have 110, angel number 110 here. Okay. Take some time to reflect on your strengths and challenges and how far you've come. Recognize your gifts, right? Be realistic with yourself. What are the things that you're really good at? Do them more. What are the things that you need to strengthen? Ask for help. It's that simple, right? Well, it isn't, it isn't, right? We're hearing this, but it's like, it's not that simple. It's hard sometimes. It is. It's truly hard. Angels accept you just the way you are, even when you're going through challenging times. They hold you at the highest esteem. So even when we don't receive a lesson, or we keep on choosing relations that we know are not good for us, or we keep on rejecting receiving for help, whatever it is that we're struggling with, that this Sagittarius full moon is teaching us to help us trust more, which is really the big lesson. It's saying that the guardian angel is a mirror of what invites us to witness our spiritual strength and beauty and see that that's what the angels do. So basically what they're asking you is to see yourself the way that the guides and the guardians and the celestial beings see you, right? Don't underestimate your power and your gifts. The mirror represents the fact that your core beliefs and ideas are fact reflected back to you in this world. Your life is one of the mirrors of how you feel within your mirror guardian and helps you recognize it. So when this card appears, you are being invited to take some time to see what you are right now. So watch a little bit the tricky shadow. I always share this. One of my teachers shared this, and I do this a lot with people's somatics sometimes, and it's been coming up. Is see how the shadow doesn't want to look at something that is you, right? Like you're bypassing something that you need to look at. So maybe you're looking at your strengths, but you're not looking at your weaknesses, or maybe you're looking at your weaknesses, but not your strengths, right? Whatever it is, take an opportunity to look at both and see them both lovingly with compassion, right? Not one is better than the other, right? Think about when you go to a resume, this is coming up. Oh my God, this is so funny. But You know, when you go and get interviewed to a job, they don't really do it as much. Maybe, I don't know. But you go into a job and they're looking at your resume, and this is what we're programmed, right? And what do they ask you? They say, "What is your strength and what is your weakness?" Right? But it's actually lovingly great to do. But when they ask you that question, what is your emotional reaction to that? Do you think one is better than the other? Do you really speak about your strengths and your weaknesses? You're like, well, I'm a perfectionist. But do you actually say your weakness, right? Or is there shame around that weakness, right? So this is what this full moon in Sagittarius is bringing into the light, is loving our weaknesses and seeing that, because when we can love our weaknesses, we can see the people around us that are actually going to bring lovingly triggers for us to strengthen ourselves and be teachers, right? But if right now as a human being, your purpose on this earth life is you came into this body to learn your strengths and your weaknesses, to learn through your relationships, the people that can help you strengthen your weaknesses of your spirit through the way that they do their ceremony of life. And then also the strengths is for you to bring that into your gifts, right? And together they help your gifts, both sides. So again, looking at your mirror, looking at yourself. This full moon's all about in work, self, shadow work, healing, and expansion, right? It's about all here. And there's no coincidence, as I mentioned, it's not full moon related, but I'm going to talk about it because we are in the full moon, that we have a lot of solar flares. I talked about this at the beginning for those of you who are jumping in now, about solar flares and how we're getting a lot of them right now. We had a lot 2 months ago, and they're affecting us and helping us ascend, but they're also a lot on the physical body. So we're being asked to really manage our energy. You also have the warrior. So be fearless and stand strong, right? Be in your strength. Your spirit never gives you anything you can't handle, right? It never gives you anything you can't handle. This is what I talk about in breathwork, what we'll be doing tonight. So for those of you who are interested in breathing with us in ceremony, it will be from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. You can register in the link tree. It's $22. I'm keeping it as that. I was going to put it to 33. I want to make sure more people have access to this breathing, because you're going to be learning how to stand strong in this times, to trust, even no matter what you're going through, right? Even if you're going through a big change in your life, or you're feeling lost, or you're feeling happy, or you're feeling excited, or there's a lot of newness, or you're finally accepting whatever your journey is, coming into that with a full heart. And we're going to explore that warrior that you are, right? And we're going to see the mirrors of who you are. We're going to see your strengths, we're going to see your weaknesses, we're going to celebrate all of it and some, right? Now, let's do the Wisdom of the Oracle deck now that we've had the ancestors lead this reading, and then we're going to close this space. Let me know at this point of the reading what's coming up for you. Maybe you're feeling a lot like, woo, I'm so excited. Or maybe you're like, ooh, I'm getting triggered and I can already see my strengths and weaknesses. Please be vulnerable in the safe space of what you're feeling right now as you receive this message. And again, we're going to be having a full reading of this. I had a post earlier that you guys can go check out, and also meditation to support you 3 days before the day of and 3 days after. So yeah, I feel like there's a few cards, not a deck, but a few cards that want to come through. And all I say is just to open your heart to receive what you need. Sometimes a deck goes whoop, and now it does. Oh. When I do that face, though, let's get a clarity card for this one, because just to make it more specific for you all. Yep. Okay. So I was just talking about this with a client yesterday. You've mentioned, and I've mentioned, and we've mentioned, the unseen have mentioned that we're working on the masculine relations. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind is that masculine and feminine need each other to work together, right? The two energies weave together, right? Not one is better than the other, not one is more important than the other. We see them as an equal, and they work as a team. The reason why I'm saying this is for this specific reason. Now, the first card you had is the fates, right? And this is just saying that everything that is happening right now in your life is meant to happen, even though you question it and you're wondering why it's happening the way it is, why it's not coming easily, why it's coming so easily, whatever your reason is. Sorry, the solar flares, guys. Oh, it's deep. So one of the deepest things I will share with you is come time to let go. Okay, time to let go. The fates are saying that there's certain things during the Sagittarius full moon you need to let go to allow yourself to refocus, right? If you're feeling you're procrastinating a lot 3 days before the day and 3 days after for the Sagittarius full moon today, that's because you are not focusing. Stay on par. I had this crazy experience with, I'm going to share this with you guys because now I understand why this came literally 4 days ago. So I just finished having a really deep conversation with one of you. And as you guys know, we have beautiful plant medicine ceremonies and retreats happening. You can go apply down below. We have one in Costa Rica next year. We have one in Peru, and we have one in November with 𝐴𝐿, Bobinsana. So if you're interested in sitting with the grandmother Madre Medicine, it's a really beautiful opportunity to sit with a beautiful curandera who's been working for 16 years, as well as a shamanic initiation that's happening for a month in July, almost a month, 26 days. I'll be assisting Don Miguel and Maestro at that time. So if you want to apply, all that's down below. But we had one of you that actually, and this is, I tell stories because there's a reason, right? So this person specifically wanted to come to the retreat, right? And I'm sharing a little bit of this. This will come to the next video I'm going to be posting soon, and someone I'm interviewing. And this person was really wrapped in their stories, almost in a way that, and we all do this when we're going into, we start, consciously being in this work and doing this work. And really, even if you've been doing this for 12, 15 years, the most important thing, humbling thing, is to know that there's no time on this. There's no state in this. It doesn't matter if you've been doing your spiritual journey for 40 years. What matters is in those 40 years, how much you've been actually looking at the mirrors of who you are. Okay. So you can be doing it and being stepping into that space, but I just want to share that because I think people put that in their ego sometimes. It's that humblingness and knowing that, it doesn't matter how long. It's the what are we working with? What is the healing? So in this, what I'm sharing is with the Sagittarius full moon is understanding what stories are we attached to that is preventing us to taking the action we need to and trusting our process to show up the way that we need to, right? What are the stories? When I say stories, is the stories of our shadows, the stories of memories, the stories of habits, the stories of values, the stories. We are ever-changing beings. And the more that we accept that we're ever-changing beings, the more that we can work with the moon cycles, the more that we can work with the cosmos, the more that we can work with plant medicine, the more that we can work with nature. And when we can work with the unseen, God, universe, whatever that you connect with these words, whatever you code to those words to the unseen, we are then trusting the fates because those stories come up and we're being told to look at those stories and know what we have to let go of, right? So what the Sagittarius full moon is teaching us is, it's bringing us to this regeneration, this aspect that we have to look at something again and look at it again because there's still stories attached to this, right? You know yourself more than I do. So if something keeps coming, repeating, and it's a pattern, then one, it's either one that maybe I'm not looking at the story or holding space for it, or two, I need to find a way to really do that deep shadow work, right? And three, to have compassion for yourself that it's not a state, right? It's going to be continuous. You're going to come to this story for lifetimes to come. When you can accept that, we are then mending. You're seeing two beautiful feminine, daughter and a mother here, okay? And they're mending together. Two feminine beings are mending together the healing that they need to go through together, right? This Sagittarius full moon is bringing what is the wounds that the masculine and the feminine are both equally involved in. The reason why your mother is the way your mother is because the father is the way the father is, right? And this is something that I really go into when I'm working with people, but also when I'm doing plant medicine ceremonies, is looking at, yes, this is what mom told you dad was. So then you painted dad as a villain. And this is what dad told you mom is. So this is why you're painting mom as a villain. Or this is why you think this person's good, this person's bad, or I like this. We're not. We're judging. We're bringing judgment into that. And that's actually preventing us to have trust in our relations and our bloodline. And also those outside of that, right? The waters and the bloods. bringing us to our family, and also those that are connected in this, which is our families, everyone at the end of the day. I want you to know that it's all beings are family, right? You chose a specific family to spend a lot of time with, to birth you and to be in that space. But the real expansion of that is understanding that we then attract coatings of that family in our family of the earth and beyond. So this Sagittarius full moon is saying, hey, wake up and look at the fates, look at the mirror. There are certain things that you've chosen not to look at, right? So for some of you, maybe you've been doing a lot of work on your father's side, or a lot of work on your mother's side, or a lot of work on the masculine. And now it's time to rebalance that, right? To bring you back into balance, to focus. And this is what the Sagittarius full moon's bringing. This is why the solar flares are happening. This is why everything is happening with the meteorites and all the energies that's happening in the world. This is why more ships are dropping into the earth right now, of different celestial beings and aliens and other beings that are here to move into the space where the veil will not only be thin during full moons and new moons, but they will constantly be thin. They're already been thin. And this has been said and told for many others before, that this time is going to happen when humanity is ready. And now we have a choice, right? And this brings me to the next thing about the Sagittarius full moon. It's an opportunity to understand that the world is in divide right now, and our work is to bring it back together. What the Sagittarius full moon is showing us is that through our own healing and our own template, when we reflect ourselves, we can see how we separate ourselves from the world, and how we avoid or have expectations of how we should manifest and whatnot, based on the programming that we have been tapped into based on our upbringing, right? And the work is to be curious. You know, one thing that Greg Braden said, I don't know if he's great to follow along. I've been listening to his podcast a lot. And something he shared was that, you know, for those of you who might be feeling a lot of what I'm sharing, or maybe what you're hearing from people online is like, wow, this is really crazy, or this is insane, or this is new to me, right? Put it into the box of possibilities, right? Don't completely write it off. And I give you that advice also for your gifts or your intuition. Put it in the box of possibilities. Don't say it's completely wrong. Don't say it's a no. Don't say it's a yes. Put it in that area of possibilities. Because when you can do that, you can then explore it more to understand it. And that is where we can bring our worlds together and help every human on this earth come into divinity and freedom and peace. Right? So what the mending is happening on the Sagittarius full moon 3 days before the day of and 3 days after is understanding that it's time for us to go into unionship of the fates and letting go of whatever is separating us, to step into trusting, doing the work. And the work doesn't have to be like, doing the work is showing up. That's number one. Doing the work is seeing ourselves. Doing the work is looking at the mirror and looking into your eyes in that mirror and seeing, I see you, I feel you, and I know that we can trust together. And when you start trusting with yourself first, that is when the unseen, like I was just talking to one of my girlfriends about this the other day, and I said, I think for the first time in my life in a long time, things are happening a lot easier. Yes, we go through periods of crying and all the things that's going to happen. But for the first time, I am trusting so deeply beyond anything I've ever experienced in my life. And this trust has shown me again and again, and some, that we are so supported. So right now, if there is trust right now, I want you to ask yourself, what are you trusting in yourself? Can you trust what you see in the mirror? Can you look at that with love and compassion? Can you honor that version of you? And then we focus on the manifesting abundance and everything. But if you don't trust and you don't look at who you are as a person and really see it, then it makes it a little harder. It makes it very confusing what we're manifesting, because you yourself haven't really been able to build this relationship of trust within your template. And it's always there. It's not something you gain. It's just refound. It's just re-enlightened, 3-3. It's just found within yourself. It's not something that this video will give you. It may inspire you 100%, but at the end of the day, it's you that's doing this work, right? So I just want to share that with you guys before we end this reading. And if this is something that is, you're struggling with trust, you're struggling with stuff, if any of this resonates, come to the breathwork tonight. It's from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. You can register in the link tree, and it's $22. It's a beautiful 3-hour ceremony that we'll be doing with plants, somatic, shamanic breathwork, opening space, closing space. and stepping into trusting in community. I've had so many people time and time again, I've had things happen I've never had before because I came to this breath work, right? All of a sudden, yesterday, everything lifted. I don't know what happened. This is the power of community. This is the power of stepping into these works together. This is the power of nature. And that is my biggest timeline. This is why moving forward, I'm going to be also sharing on my videos more about plant medicine, more about sharing with that because, you know, this is important. You know, that's a big part of my work and my arts and why I channel these things. People say, well, what's astrology? I do connect with astrology, but what I'm channeling with you is beyond this space of just astrology. I'm looking at different metaphorical spaces. And also I'm looking at different codings. It's not just in the astrology of that Western astrology. It's also like, you know, the ancestors. It's the, you know, it's the Christ consciousness. It's the stepping into the plants, nature, and the celestial beings. So I just want to share that with you. That's how I get my readings. It's not just that. I'm just a vessel of many different light beings here to support us. I'm just a tool. As we are. We're just instruments with souls, and the physical body is an instrument and your soul is what matters. And that is the part that we need to understand, that our DNA is so deep. And in this Sagittarius full moon, we're learning to trust who we are. That never leaves us, no matter how much trauma you've endured, no matter what you're experiencing right now, no matter what, that never leaves you. Don't forget that. Okay. That's my job, is to make sure you don't forget that, to be there to make sure you don't forget that. But that's also your job too. So this was a really deep reading. I was not expecting it to go so deep, but it did. So let me know if you saw the replay, and also what you're feeling. And if you're live here, share with me in the comments, like what's coming up for you, what you've experienced. TikTok will be also on YouTube if you jumped in later, so you can watch the whole video. And for those of you on YouTube, if you jumped in later, you can watch it, listen to it, receive it. I want to share a couple things with you guys. We have the breathwork tonight. That's happening from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'd love to see you there to register. I also am going to be doing sliding scale for the energetic doula program, as well as the rebirth 3 to 4 month only for this month. At the end of this month, we're almost at the end of the month. So for those of you applying and get accepted to the program, then you get a sliding scale, which sliding scale, if you're unfamiliar what sliding scale is, it's an opportunity to get a scale of what the energetic exchange is, and you choose within that scale what feels good to you, right? It allows it to be more accessible to more people. So you can go and apply down below. And I'm also offering, I never do one-off healings. I only do my 3-month or 6-month rebirth program. But for this month and next month, I'm offering that. So I have a few spots available for that if you would like to apply for a one-on-one with me. And I'm also removing $222 off of the one-on-one session for an hour and a half. You can go and apply and send my team an email, and then they will set it up for you for us to meet together via Zoom for a healing. A lot of my ancient practices are with plant medicine, ancestral work, past life, inner child, breath work, somatic healing, somatic arts, acupressure, lots of different versions of essences and energies, working with channeling, mediumship, and so much more. So if that's something that you are interested in, you can go and send an email for that, for the one-off ones. And then lastly is plant medicine. This is something that I am calling in. I'm calling in spirits and souls that are ready to work with healing, that are ready to work with your template, that are ready to work with nature. Right now, she is calling us to come back and commune to her deeper, and to sit with the elders, to sit with the healing, to come back to ourselves. And in a time right now where there's a lot of confusion, where technology is becoming more important than our own humanity, we need to come together in community. We can't do it alone. So for those of you who've been doing this journey alone, I invite you to come and do healing together. We'll be meeting at Heaven and Earth Sanctuary, November 20th to 23rd. Limited spots are for this. Registration closes on June 1st. Okay. So you can apply for that in the retreat application down below in the link tree. And we'll be sitting with 2 Aya ceremonies, a water blessing, which is literally one of the most powerful experiences I've had. It literally It's clearing all chakras and allowing you to decode and clear all of your chakras, opening your wings. And we'll be sitting with Colleen Ariel, who is a curandera. There's an exciting video that'll be coming up more that we'll be talking about and sharing that with you guys as well. And I'm super excited for that. And then we're also going to be sitting with Sananga, Hape, and the beautiful eternal waters that streams through this beautiful heaven and earth. It's literally heaven and earth. Like, it looks like I can't, you have to be there. The codes here, the portal, it's a portal. And it works with us in this space. So if you're interested, you can go and apply. Link is in the Google form to apply for all retreats. And then we also have 2 beautiful retreats. As you guys know, we did the Costa Rica retreat. And that Costa Rica retreat was from February 1st to the 11th of this year. We sat with Bobansana, cacao, yoga, Kambo, breathwork, Aya ceremonies as well. And we got to sit at Heaven and Earth. So we're doing this retreat again next year, 2025, the 1st to the 11th. And we'll be sitting with amazing Colleen Ariel. We're also going to be with Carol Mrinson, which is an amazing psychosomatic, one of the leading psychosomatic leaders and teachers of the space, of learning how our bodies tell people who we are and our timelines and our stories. She talks about that. She does a workshop with you. I'll be serving Kambo, assisting with grandmother and Aya, as well as helping you, support you with the breath work and integrating all the medicine you're doing. We'll be sitting with Bobansana and cacao and just enjoying the lands and the activation of the portal. It's life-changing, this experience. And then if you're feeling called to go deeper, for those of you who are really ready to go deep, there's 2 opportunities for you. So there's the shamanic initiation. It's happening this July 11th. There is 6 spots available for this till August 5th. And this is with Don Miguel Maestro, who is part of the Shipibo. And I sat with him last year to do my 26-day initiation. And I'm so grateful and humbled to be able to sit alongside with him to help you with your journey and to be assisting with Elio as well. So you will get to sit in ceremony, 10 ceremonies with Aya. You'll be learning master plants. You'll be dieting master plants. You'll be learning about all the different plants, saplatu, mapacho. If you are feeling this call to do this deep work and you've been on this path, you're ready. It is a potent space. I wouldn't say it's for people who are beginners. It's for people who are really ready to go deeper. And this is an opportunity that's happening in July if you're feeling called to learn about the principles of shamanism and plants from the Shipibo way. Another opportunity is we'll be meeting at Novela's Treehouse Retreat Center in Peru with Juan, which is Colleen Ariel's one of good friends, and she's known for many, many years. He is Shipibo and also Quechuan as well. They're working with really bringing people to connect with the indigenous way and working with the plant medicines. And if you don't know, ayahuasca is from Shipibo. So this is a beautiful plant that we get to sit from that space and those lands. And again, it's for those who are ready to do the work, have been doing the work. We have 8 spots available for this beautiful retreat. You'll be sitting with Bobansana, the master plants, sitting with Aya, working with beading with the indigenous. You're going to learn how to do beading and jewelry as well. Kambo, breathwork, and enjoying the lands. So if you're interested in any of these retreats, you want to read and see all the things, you can go and apply in the retreats 2024-2025 Google form. It's in my link tree, and go and apply there. And you'll learn all about the things for the retreats. And honestly, I can share, as someone who's sat the 26 days with Aya, who's been working with Aya for many years, for 5 years. And also as someone who has also sat and came to Aya at a time where I was depressed, where I was emotional, where I was questioning my existence of human, like being here, like what, like the consistency and the beauty of life. And now being someone who's a medicine carrier, who is assisting with elders, who is being able to share this wisdom with you and to connect to community right now is prime. It's important. And a lot of elders say that we need to do this work right now for humanity, for us as an existent race to do our work and to be here tomorrow. And I'm not sharing this out of fear. I'm sharing this as a reality that this is the world that we're in, that they're trying to confuse us, right? And we are more powerful than we know. You are so much more powerful than you know, and your gifts will be heightened with the medicines. Your relationships will change. Your mental stories, all the things I shared with the Sagittarius will lift, and you will step into who you really are, which is already inside of you. That is what the medicine shows you. It's a mirror, it's a reflection of who you are. And I call in, I trust that the community that receives this message will apply, that will come. Just remember that you are meeting your soul. That is what these plant medicines show. You are meeting your soul. What would it look like? What would it feel like to meet your spirit with a plant of you, with a plant? What would it look like to heal yourself from diseases that are from emotional stories and memories that are stored into the body, and to walk away pain free? You know, 𝐤𝐤𝐤 and all the plants have helped me with healing endometriosis, PTSD, chronic pain. These are the miracles that these plants have trusted me. Our medication is nature. And in a time where they're saying otherwise, this is what I'm sharing. And our ancestors did it. It's time for us to come back to it. So I can go on and on about that, but I just want to share the power of these plants and these retreats. If there's something you're looking into to go into, these are the retreats I would suggest you doing, and also the one-on-ones. So yeah, you can apply down below. And again, the one that's happening in November, registration closes the 1st of June. So make sure you apply as soon as you can. These spots will fill up. You know, we're going to be sharing with our community, and Colleen Ariel as well is going to be sharing with her community. Don Miguel is sharing with their community. The spots are filling up. So the time is now. Okay. So I hope to see you tonight for the breath work. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your family, share with your friends this video, share the retreats, share the offerings. Let's all connect together. We have to heal together. It's not about one of us healing. It's about all of us healing. So I love you all so much, and I will see you soon. Happy Sagittarius full moon. Bye. Okay, guys.